My name is Robert, and why don't we all stand and sing the first song, Attitude of Gratitude, which was written by Heather. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful for this day, for peace of mind and wellness. I'm blessed in every way, for spirit works within me, so it lives in you. There's so much to be thankful for. It's so easy to do. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful for this place, for joyfulness belonging and every happy face. The spirit of abundance surrounds our every need. And when I act in gratitude, I've got all that I need. I've got an attitude of gratitude. I spread it far and wide. Joyfulness is my map, and faith is my guide. Together we can share the love, and only thing we need is an attitude of gratitude in heart and mind and deed.
Hi there. Just a minute. I'm discombobulated. One moment. All right. Hello, my name is Mary Ann, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly, truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you're meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles at the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. So it is. I love that phrase. Do we have any first-timers here today? Any second-timers here today? You're all getting too wise about this. Second-timers. All right. Well, regular gang, I'm so happy to see you. Every single one of your faces. Whenever I'm not here, I do miss you on Sunday mornings. Okay. I want to thank all the people that are here today for all the many, many things they do. And at the top of the list right here, just a minute. I haven't had time to read this yet. We welcome our interim music director, Rob Resitar. Yes. He will be with us for the next 2 Sundays, giving our Heather, yes, a well-earned break. Absolutely. Robert Redistar has composed feature film scores, network television series, episodes of Nova and National Geographic, that's in caps, planetarium show scores, and TV commercials. He is orchestrated for the, how come we're not hearing the da-da-da thing?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And, okay, let's do this again. He has orchestrated for the Boston Pops and Houston Symphony, and his original compositions have been performed by major orchestras, including Big Caps, Minnesota Orchestra, and Detroit Symphony. His choral works have been performed by the Tucson, Arizona Boys Chorus. Holy mackerel, when you have time to play the piano.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
Sounds good. Sounds great. I always try.
Thank you, Robert. Okay.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for the greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Melinda, and I'm your practitioner today. And as you know, practitioners are the healing arm of this center. And this week we will be praying for Rosie, who had a fall in her backyard, and she looks like she got in a fight with a boxer. She sent us the picture. She said she had uneven stones in the backyard from all the heavy rains, and she took a very serious fall, flat on her face. So we are adding her to our prayers for sure. Okay, the big news, I'm so excited about this, is the Living Out Loud Journal. And what this is, it's a sacred space for your reflections on talks, personal meditations, gratitude, goals, and more. And it's put out by Home Office. And our practitioner, Louise, has donated these, but they're for sale. And all the money that we raise goes into our practitioner fund for our upcoming retreat, which we do finally have one scheduled in January, which we're very excited about. So there's a little box over there. You just put your $15 in there. But here's my question. So there's more than, I think altogether in the whole world, there's 450 centers for spiritual living. Over 300, more than 300 have unified by content of this weekly journal. This weekly journal includes monthly and weekly global themes. And our lovely Reverend Donna has agreed for January, starting 2023, to follow this. So we can bring our journal with us, and we can make notes on the talk and our reflections, our gratitude, and our goals. So right now we have about 13. And what's kind of cool about it too is if you travel and go to another center, you know, they might be on the same page. And you can also look ahead of time and see what the next week's theme is going to be, because it's all in the book. So I'm just curious, how many people are as excited as I am about this? Okay, good. Because we can order more. And that's what we need to know. When they get low, maybe we'll order some more. Okay. Now I light this candle to start the sacred service. And for our invocation today, I am free with the freedom of God. I manifest this freedom in joy. I think of it with deep gratitude to the giver of all life and a deep inner sense of my union with the oneness. In my own will and imagination, I see myself free, complete, and whole. I fall back to the center of my being, which is God, and affirm this freedom as mine. I enter into this freedom with complete abandonment, with the feeling that all things are working out well, and with a sincere desire to live, that my freedom shall be departed to others, that we may all feel and experience the joy this freedom brings. Let us be grateful and appreciate this infinite partnership with God and the opportunity to come together today, here, for our Sunday celebration. Thank you, everyone, for your presence and your offerings to create this place of love. We are blessed by everyone who contributes. And so it is. Donna came up with a topic this week: gems in ugly wrappers. Now, usually I have a little conversation with her sometime during the week, so I kind of have a clue where she's going with that. This week I did not have that opportunity, as we had these amazing visitors. Peter's son and daughter-in-law and little baby came to visit us, so we were totally distracted. I think of several examples of gems in ugly wrappers, and if you know me, you know that I strongly believe in flushing out the stuck energies so that universal love can flow easily through us, creating a healthy vibration that all is well in our lives. Today I will share from Om, parts that don't want to heal. In almost every case, we know what is best for us in our lives, from relationships we create to the food we eat. Still, somewhat mysteriously, it is often difficult to make the right choices for ourselves. We find ourselves hanging out with someone who leaves us feeling drained, or choosing to eat fast food over a salad. We go through phases where we stop doing yoga or taking vitamins, even though we know that we do so much better when we do. Often we have no idea why we continue to make the less enlightened choice. But it's important that we inquire into ourselves to find out why. Our practitioners can guide you through this in a personal session. That's what we do. When we choose that which is not best for us, the truth can be there that there is a deep-seated part of us that does not want to heal. Hard to believe, but it is true. We may say it's because we don't have the time, or we don't have the energy, or the resources, but the real truth is that when we don't take care of ourselves, we are falling prey to self-sabotage. Self-sabotage happens unconsciously, which is why it's so difficult to see that we are doing it. The important thing is to realize that this very part of us that resists our healing is exactly the part that most needs our attention, even as it appears to be working against us. If we can simply bring it into the light of our consciousness, it can become our greatest ally or our greatest enemy when we leave it in the dark. It carries the information we need to move to the next level in our healing process. When we recognize we're not making healthy choices, we might say out loud, I am not taking care of myself. Sometimes that's a jolt we need to wake up to what is actually happening. Next, we sit ourselves down in meditation with a journal or with a trusted friend to explore the matter more thoroughly, just shining the light of our awareness on the source of our resistance is sometimes enough to dispel its power. At other times, further effort is required. Either way, we need not fear these parts that do not want to heal. We only need to take them under our wing and bring them with us into the light, perhaps in a practitioner session where we will find the gem. The gem, for me, is expanded, joyful freedom. Namaste.
God bless the sun as each bird greets the dawn, singing such sweet melodies, offering a song like a tender embrace to fill every heart with peace. God bless the song of the wind in the trees as each little leaf sings along, willing to whisper their sweet harmonies, even when things go wrong. When my soul cannot bear more sorrow, come wrap me in angel wings. Help me to be like the birds in the trees. Lord, teach my heart to sing. God bless each tear as it falls to the ground, even though maybe no one will hear, making a memory of sweet melodies with dreams that have disappeared. When my soul cannot bear more sorrow, come wrap me in angel wings. Help me to be like the birds in the trees. Lord, teach my heart to sing. Help me to be a blessing of peace. Lord, teach my heart to sing.
Thank you, Ron. It's beautiful, beautiful. Did you write that? Wow, beautiful. Gosh, we've got talent in this place. Good morning. I've changed the November theme from think thanks, because it's hard to say, to the actual quote by W.H. Auden, which is let all your thinks be thanks. It's easier to say and it makes more sense. And then the topic is, as Melinda said, gems in ugly wrappers. And that comes from a conversation that I had some time back with a fellow minister. And he was having some problems within his center. We don't know about that, but other churches do. And then he commented, well, problems are God's gems in ugly wrappers. And I really like that. And it reminded me of a talk that I heard given by Norman Vincent Peale when he came to Founders Church, and that's been a gazillion years ago. But I still remember him saying that our lives are filled with God's blessings. But I have found that the richest blessings come wrapped up in a great big problem. And isn't that always, or not always, but mostly true, that the very best blessings come out of those dark nights of the soul, come out of those times when we think, oh my God, what's next? Spiritual seekers like we are not immune to problems. In fact, if we were, it'd be boring, don't you think? Because sometimes it's a problem that wakes us up, that makes us see things differently, that sets us on a new road. Sometimes big problems that we face make us stronger than we realize. And we find that we can make those life changes that we didn't think that we could. In so many cases, we do find that our problems are God's gems in ugly wrappers, that there is an incredible gift waiting for us if we are willing, as Melinda says, to do the work that it takes to unwrap it. Do you remember the singer and guitarist Julio Iglesias? He's one of the top record sellers in music history. He's sold more than 100 million records worldwide in 14 languages. During his career, he's performed in more than 5,000 concerts for over 60 million people in 5 continents. In the early 1960s, he was studying law and playing professional soccer in Madrid, intending to become a career soccer player. In 1963, he was in a major car crash that left him with a compressed spinal cord. The doctors told him he would not walk again. After 3 years of intensive therapy, he did walk again, but his soccer career was out the window. And during this time, he began to play guitar in order to gain dexterity in his fingers and hands. In 1968, he won the Benidorm International Song Festival, a songwriters event in Spain, with the song La Vida Sigue Igual, meaning life continues just the same. Julio Iglesias had to either accept that his career was over, that his athletic career was over, or spend a lifetime in sorrow and disappointment. He had to have courage as he went through a grueling therapy that lasted until October 2010, so that he could change careers and move his life forward. Gems in ugly wrappers. Julio's musical gifts might never have been uncovered had he not been injured in a car crash that took his apparent future as a pro athlete. So there's a beautiful prayer. Anybody in AA knows it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And that prayer can be helpful to every one of us as we face our own problems and challenges. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, I had a friend who said that this prayer is backwards. And he says we should first, and I think this is pretty clever, first ask for the wisdom to know the difference of what we can and cannot change. Then we should ask for courage to change the things we can, and finally, simply accept everything else. That makes sense? Author Byron Katie tells us life is simple. Everything happens for you, not to you. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, neither too soon nor too late. You don't have to like it. It's just easier if you do. And Jim Carrey also uses this philosophy, and he says, when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. But I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. Walker & Company Brands founder and CEO Tristan Walker says the most important thing he learned was from a conversation that he had with comedian and filmmaker Tyler Perry. Mr. Perry commented, "The trials we go through and the blessings we receive are the same thing. Those trials are lessons we can learn from, and those learnings are blessings." So obstacles come up for everybody. It's not about deluding ourselves or lying to ourselves, but it is about reframing these obstacles as coming up for our benefit, not our inconvenience. We may not know this is true, but it's sure a better way to live in the world. And it's that attitude that turns obstacles into opportunities, which we talked about. This is kind of a chapter 2 of last week. That's what we talked about, turning obstacles into opportunities. One of the questions that Dr. Arthur Chang asks in his book, The New Positive Spirituality, is, are you living by default or by design? And that's another way of asking what can and cannot be changed. So often, without realizing it, as Melinda alluded to, we are living by default. Dr. Chang says living from a default dimension is being dissatisfied with life while choosing not to change it. Our problems then stem from a lack of courage to move out of our comfort zone, even though our comfort zone isn't very comfortable. We are a slave to circumstances and resigned to the way things are. Reverend Arthur says if one is living like this, he should not be surprised that he's unhappy any more than a coal miner would be surprised to find soot on his overalls after coming out of the mine. To live by design rather than default is to step out into uncharted territory with courage. And that courage, of necessity, must include effort. But it is effort that is not wasted. And we all know the story of the man watching a butterfly struggling to be free of its cocoon. And after watching the struggle continue for a number of minutes, the man decides to help the butterfly and gently removes some of the cocoon so getting free of it would be easier. And sure enough, the butterfly emerged easily. But to the man's horror, the butterfly's wings were not fully formed. It crawled pathetically around in a circle for several minutes and then died. Because it was the struggle to be free of the cocoon that gave the butterfly's wings its strength and formation that they needed. So we need to recognize that for us to emerge from any problem, we may need to struggle emotionally or perhaps even physically. It takes effort to move from default to design, to move from the status quo to a proactive stance. But when we do, we realize that it took effort to keep ourselves stuck as well. So if we're going to put in some effort, let's put in some effort to change for the better. You know, there's a super creative field within us, but it's got to be fertilized by our thought and faith. If we turn to the wisdom within us and let ourselves be guided by it, then we find something within us that knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and is working in our behalf all the time. When we put our faith in that, then we find we have the courage that we need to break out of living by default. We find a new joy, a new enthusiasm, and the problem that we thought we were engulfed in suddenly becomes lighter. And often, as we become lighter and we see the beauty of life, we give back. Because we have a desire then to serve others. It just comes as the tail end of that. As soon as we see life with all of its blessings, then the first thing we want to do is give it back. We want to share it. And I do love that so many of our members at our center and volunteer for our center and other places where they have so much passion. And giving to others, to the community, provides us a way of being needed. It provides an outlet for us to share our love and compassion. How many of you went to the Saturday chili cook-off? A few. Great, yeah. As I sat, and I want to give a shout out, first of all, to Carol Ann Smith, who has been doing this for years. She is our beneficial presence to the chili cook-off. And I saw Susan running from one end of the place to the other for the hour or so that I was there. So thank you both for being part of that. But I sat there and I was listening to the music and watching the crowds, and we had a record crowd. We had 105 cars. I don't remember how many cooks and stuff, but I was sitting there watching, listening to the music, watching the people, and I realized that a small group of people have come together to put Amado on the map. Yeah, I mean, they have. Mauricio, Pastor Mauricio was the first one when he approached Amy Bass and said, we need you to see us in Amado. And then all of these people have come together to create the chili cook-off, which is known in the community, to create a center that's being built for the kids. All of this has come to, and we've had a part in that. We've given money where needed. We were one of the sponsors of the chili cook-off. We've given money in other ways. We've given time, and we certainly have given our facilities any time that they were needed. So I'm so proud of our center's involvement. And I believe that we cannot be filled with love and compassion and focused on problems at the same time. Alan Cohen in I Had It All the Time tells the story of meeting the couple who ran the East Maui Animal Refuge. And they were caretakers to a menagerie of animals that no one else wanted, even the Humane Society. We call these guys our boo-boo babies, Sylvan told Alan as he introduced each of the many and varied animals on his round. How did you get into this, Alan asked. And Sylvan replied, before I met Susie, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer with only 6 months to live. And so she came here to Maui to die. Then we met and discovered we shared a love for animals. And she began to see a doctor of Chinese medicine who told me that along with taking the herbs he was giving her, Susie would do well to find some activity that satisfied her soul. So we began going to pet stores, and if we found a sickly dog in the back of a cage, we would ask the shopkeeper if we could take it home. And Susie began to perk up while nursing such critters, and almost daily we would find or be given another animal needing love and care. The truly miraculous thing is that as Susie found a purpose for which she was receiving joy and satisfaction, the less pain she felt. And finally, she went to a medical doctor who took some tests and found that the cancer was gone. And when Alan asked, how long ago was that? Sylvan replied, 13 years. Not 6 months, 13 years and still going strong. Living by design requires conscious intention. We need to each day set an intention to see the world as loving, joyful, friendly, and beautiful. We need to see our desires as if they have already been manifested. What does a good day look like? What does it feel like? What accomplishments would feed our joy? And if we set our intention each day, we won't be disappointed. And that doesn't mean that we won't have a problem or that there won't be some unpleasant situations. But it does mean that we can react in a positive way so that a potential problem may become that gem in an ugly wrapper. Our philosophy tells us that we attract to ourselves what we embody in our consciousness. If we embody a consciousness of joy and happiness, if we are expectant that this day brings blessings, then we have a much better chance of experiencing the blessings than the person living by default without conscious intentions. John O'Donohue, author of Anam Cara, a book of Celtic wisdom, often talks of the Irish bent to see elves and fairies. He says, troubles are not just constellations of the soul or consciousness. Frequently, they seem to assume a spirit form. Perhaps there are little crowds of miseries flying along through the air. They look down and they see us gloomy and miserable, and they imagine, well, if I come down, I might be able to lodge for a week or two or a month or even a year. So if you and I let them, these miseries can come in and take up residency in different places in our mind. The longer we leave them there, the harder it will be to evict them. Natural wisdom seems to suggest that the way we are toward our life is the way our life will be toward us. So a person living by default, a slave to circumstance, is a prime target for these miseries, these troubles. He or she is providing the perfect environment for them. When you and I set our conscious intention to see each day as good and beautiful, there is no place within us for these miseries to land. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says how necessary it is not to attach our problems to the divine mind, but to unite the divine mind with the answer to the problem, for there's a vast difference. He says principles have no problems. Therefore, in a sense, we subject our finite problems to the infinite intelligence which automatically solves them through our recognition and acceptance that they are being solved. In actual practice, he says, this means that we rearrange our thinking in such a way that we permit new ideas to flow in. The ideas, fears, and tensions that obstructed the flow are released. The stream flows free again. It is in this sense that God is the answer to every human problem. Principles never have problems. So problems are solved by allowing spiritual principles to dissolve them. If we remember that the universe always says yes, then whatever we put into mind will be dealt with affirmatively by spirit. So if we know that, then we can circumvent all of these problems. If we say, yes, we have a problem, the universe responds with, yes, here's your problem. And if we say, yes, that there is an answer to everything, and if we truly believe it, then the universe will say yes, and the answer is revealed. Ernest Holmes also tells us, spirit is neither sad nor depressed. If you would catch the vision of the joy which should be yours, you must dry your tears, you must lay aside your fears, you must think from the inspirational center within you, which is nothing less than the divine in you singing its song of life. Life is going to have its challenges and its problems. I hurt at this moment in my life, and I'm trying to do some things about it. But it does slow you down, and you know, I can't deny that it isn't happening. But I can work around it and see the beauty and the joy of my life as it is. And eventually they'll get worked out, and the happier I am in my life, the less pain I do feel. I know that's true. So life is going to have challenges. It's going to have problems. So as spiritual seekers, let's remember that problems are God's gems in ugly wrappers, that there are blessings in every challenge, and that we can choose to live by design rather than default. And then we will hear the divine singing its song through us. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear that my soul is welcome here. Let me do one more time. Here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear that my soul is welcome here.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Okay. Okay. So it's time for our offering. Chance to put that law of circulation in process. And by the way, we had an interesting. I may have told you this, but when we hosted the event for the kids a couple of weeks ago and their parents, that grant carried with it $400 for the space, for the host space. And so we normally get nothing, and nor do we want anything from them. But since it was included in the grant, we got $400 for that. Unexpected income. We owe the pig $40. So I want you to join me in our offering affirmation. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me, multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you so very much. all that you do, all that you give, all that you share. We are certainly a spiritual family. And you know, as Melinda said, we're all praying for Rosie this week. Bless her heart. And for Judy. Judy's got some challenges as well. So if you know somebody in your family or something, just put that person at the forefront of your mind as we do our closing prayer. And then please join us for refreshments afterwards. I know that there is one divine mind. It is the mind of God. It is the mind that we use. And the attributes of this mind are love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, wholeness. As we align ourselves with these attributes, we find our lives moving in a direction that is beneficial for us and for the world. I speak my word for each and every one here, for anyone who's experiencing any kind of a challenge. And together we know that God, as all there is the healing power of the infinite. I give thanks as we come together as a spiritual family, as we share in our blessings, as we share in our joys and in our sorrows, and know that truly life is good, and we think thanks in all that we do, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. May we stand and form a circle and sing Stand. And again, a special thank you to Ram for being our guest musician this week and next. We really appreciate him here.